It's alive, it's alive, it's alive. Now I know what it feels like to be God.
What's up, guys? Welcome to 31 Days of Horror 2025. I am Morgan Film Fan. Let's jump into some scares. First one up is It's Alive in this Scream Factory box set, and I had never seen any of these films before. Of course, I've seen this poster at Blockbuster 100 times, but you know, as I've said on the channel, when I was a kid, my parents were a little strict with what I watched. So I never got my hands on this for a long time, so this is a great first time watch for me. I love this poster too. I'd never really seen this one, but whatever it is, it's alive and deadly. Amazing stuff from 1974. So what we have going on here is we have this couple named Lenore and Frank, and they have a little child named Chris already. Chris is a little tyke. He looks about 5 years old-ish, 6 years old. And the mother is expecting another child, and the film opens up with her going into labor, and she's quite prepared for it, seemingly, because she goes to the hospital. She has lots of time. She, I guess, senses it coming, so she wants to be at the hospital when it happens. She's there, and she starts to sense that things are really wrong with her because she can feel it in herself. Something, you know, is wrong with the baby. Her body is not reacting the way it should be. She remembers, you know, birthing her son, Chris. There is a man named Charlie in this film, so I do confuse Charlie and Chris, but the son is Chris, the little guy, their son is Chris. And Chris is left with Charlie at the beginning of the film as well, while the parents go to the hospital. So Chris and Charlie are together for most of the film. So the mother experiences these panics and everything. The father is waiting for the birth to be done. She's 6 hours labor. The doctors are already struggling. They can tell that this baby is ginormous and very unusual. And the father is waiting with a bunch of other fathers. Funny situation happens with this random guy who's putting 50 cents into a machine, and unluckily he does not get what he pressed on the button, and he starts complaining and whining about it. And the father, Frank, our main character, goes up to him and is like, "Here's your 50 cents. That's all good. Just calm down." And then he goes to a bubblegum machine and tries to get a bubblegum, and it does the same thing. So obviously this guy is having the most unlucky day in the world. But regardless, back to the birth. Things go horribly wrong, and she cannot get this baby out of her, and she's already fully opened up, let's just say. And you cut to a scene where all 6 to 8 doctors, however many are in there, are just hacked. I mean, blood everywhere, and the blood is really red looking. It's very Hammer film-esque. It's such a great opening gore scene for a first act of a film. I absolutely love that. Now, the reactions from everybody is what surprises me, because first of all, the parents seem to act like this is something that occurs once in a blue moon in the world. You know, every once in a while a woman births a monster. Every once in a while, a woman will birth a kid who will just start eating the doctors. At least the father does. He's like, he's still my child, and I'm just gonna, you know, look for him, and because the baby escaped somewhere, nobody knows where it is. And all they know is that the baby massacred the entire crew that was birthing it. And the mother somehow heals just fine. And then they go home, and they have a lot of power struggles with what they want to do. The mother obviously wants to keep the child because it's hers and she wants it as her baby, but the father starts to want to destroy it and you know, understand that it is a abomination that should be destroyed, and he does not care that it is his child. But then he starts to come around and flip that, and the mother often flips her side of her thoughts too. So very strange behavior to what's going on when you have this actual monster that is seemingly getting very fast, teleporting Jason style all over this freaking city. Eventually it is explained how this baby is doing this, but they mostly keep the baby out of sight, which is a good thing in horror films, because what you can't see and what works in your imagination usually works best. But when they do show the baby is freaking creepy. I love the practical effects on the baby's face, and it looks monstrous, and it looks very, very creepy, and just not super deformed or mutant or anything like that. Like, not super monstrous, but just monstrous enough to the point where you can tell it's definitely not human, but it has a lot of human features and baby features. It has these sharp teeth and everything, and that's really, really cool. Very 1974 with certain things that happen, especially with the husband, with how he speaks to the child, Chris. And they leave Chris mostly with Charlie for the film, like I said, so it's mostly the parents dealing with things. But eventually the baby does make it into the basement of the house, and you find out that the wife, Lenore, is like keeping it in a cage and not having the father know about it, because if Frank finds out about it, he'll want to kill it. There's creepy slow moments where the baby is hiding behind things and blocks will fall, and you don't know what's happening. But there's one scene where Frank's just starts slapping Lenore around as if it's just completely normal, and Charlie is sitting, or sorry, again, Chris is sitting right there, the little kid, and he's just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing, woman?" And he's just, because he found out about the baby in the cage, and I'm just like, yep, that's 70s relationships for you. And Lenore just is fine with it. She's just, oh, you got angry, whatever. Yeah, stuff like that doesn't happen today in relationships. So very old school conservative relationship going on there. This film, I have to say, I did find a tad underwhelming for what I was expecting. My expectations were high for this one. And although I enjoyed it for the most part, and I love the creature feature aspect of it, I was expecting a lot more horror to this film. There were a lot of slow burn moments and a lot more family drama than I thought it was gonna be. I was expecting to just get scene after scene of evil baby action, and it delivers slightly underwhelming amounts of it. When it's on screen, it's great, but I think there's too much talky moments for my taste, and it may totally be something that's my own fault, because I set my expectations extremely high, like I said. But it was a fun film, and I liked the way it ends off. I'm not going to say where, and I'm not going to say what happens, but the ending is a bit of a payoff, and the final line perfectly sets up a sequel, of course, and we got 2 sequels to this film, which I am looking forward to watch. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, I'm not going to be reviewing them for the 31 Days of Horror. However, maybe I'll review them in the future. So a little bit underwhelming. I came at a 3 out of 5 with this film, but it is good for what it is, and it's still a recommend. It just didn't blow me away as I was expecting. It's alive to do so. So that's day 1 for 31 Days of Horror. And I appreciate you guys being here for another year, checking my stuff out, and getting my recommendations. And most of these reviews are going to contain some spoilers. However, I'll keep the minimum for people who haven't watched the films and still want to see my review. But hopefully you watch the films and then come back to these reviews, because that's what I do on YouTube all the time, and that's what I enjoy best, because then I have the film in my head and I can understand what the person's talking about, rather than just going in blind and hearing somebody talk about a film. I have no idea what it's about. But yeah, thanks to all my viewers, and I hope you have a great spooky season, and sleep tight tonight.